out the box, Glaze. Knock him out the box, knock him out the box, Glaze. Knock him out the box, knock him out the box, Glaze. Knock him out the box, knock him out the box, Glaze. Knock him out the box. Who you know more realer, stories with more thriller. Spit real facts, who you know more chiller. Knock him out the box, Glaze. Knock him out the box, knock him out the box, Glaze. Knock him out the box. Once upon a time not long ago in the streets of Brooklyn, Glaze had him shookin'. If he liked what you had, got took it. Give me gangsta moves, ran with some gangsta dudes. You know I'm Brooklyn dude, straight take your food. Let me get that real 50 Cent, fat cat and pep. Had blocks on live, BGG the movement. Here to make improvements. Knock him out the box, Glaze. Knock him out the box, knock him out the box, Glaze. Knock him out the box. Who you know more realer, stories with more thriller. Spit real facts, who you know more chiller.
New York, a monster once walked these streets, and now the conscience of that monster remains within this man. Brian Gibbs, a one-time homicidal drug kingpin and a deadly threat to all.
Career criminal, drug dealer, murderer, you name it, I did it.
But something has changed about Brian.
I'm a Christian. I'm married. I got 2 kids. I go to church.
And he confesses the people that he sits next to in church know nothing of his murderous past profession. Now he's seeking a different kind of calling, speaking to at-risk kids.
I tell them who I am, what I've been through, what I should have done differently, letting them know that I'm jealous of each and every one of them in here because they got youth on their side.
He's even self-published a book called Beyond Lucky, chronicling his life story in hopes of steering others away from the criminal path that he once chose for himself.
I was a fool. I fell in love with the street. The street don't love nobody.
Back in the day, he was a top lieutenant in the most lucrative and violent drug ring in New York City's history, when crack was king in the 1980s and 90s.
I was making $40,000 a day, selling crack, cocaine, and heroin.
Brian says he has nothing left of that drug money today. And according to Joe Ponzi, a former chief investigator for the Brooklyn DA, Gibbs is also the man who helped bring that criminal cash empire to the ground after making a plea deal and turning on his former associates.
People often are shocked by the sense that an individual like Brian could plead to that many violent acts and only spend 8 or 10 years in prison. I don't care how good of a cop you are, what investigative methods you employ, you can never get that insider's view of what went on within a conspiracy without getting the cooperation of people like Brian. And it's a trade-off.
A trade-off that apparently paid off.
It was absolutely critical. He started a domino effect that effectively eradicated one of the most violent criminal enterprises this city has ever seen. His cooperation led to so much other cooperation that at the end of that road, there was really no one left to try.
But there was a time when Ponzi was dedicated to putting Brian Gibbs behind bars and keeping him there for good.
I think Brian saw, murder as just a necessary tool. There was incredible competition back then between rival street gangs.
How bad was he? Or real bad?
I pled guilty to 5 murders and 2 attempted murders. How many people did I really kill? 6.
Thanks to that plea deal, Brian served less than 9 years behind bars. But what does he say to the families of his victims?
That I'm truly sorry. It's only thing I can do is extend my deepest condolences.
So has Brian truly redeemed himself by helping youth and telling his story? Ask his one-time arch-enemy, Joe Ponzi.
One of the things that I saw about Brian in this different position as federal cooperator was a willingness to be completely open and honest. He came totally clean. I don't think I've ever caught him in a lie.
The two agreed to come together again on the streets of Brooklyn, an event Joe Ponzi didn't think possible. He imagined Brian Gibbs wouldn't last past 6 months outside of prison without reoffending.
6 months. To me, that was generally what it took for someone to come out, adjust to life again, and wind up right back where they started.
So the unusual reunion is something of a surprise.
Never a moment where I could have envisioned that scenario.
Well, how could I? You only gave me 6 months to last. So how can you?
Good point.
Brian's still happy he traded in his $40,000 a day job for something more acceptable and livable. At one point, even selling women's shoes to keep from returning to a life of crime.
You know what? It's like you hustling all over again. Suppose you selling drugs, now you selling shoes. He was a top salesman.
I am not proud of the person I once was. I hate, everything that I've been through, trying to be down, be cool, growing up too damn fast. But at the end of the damn day right now is, without no test, you don't got no testimony. So once again, to me, what it took for me to change, pain. What it took for me to change, growing up. What it took for me to change, to get help with my mental illness, anger management. People don't understand. You have to dig deep, man. And you have to, go into a situation, whereas you have to be willing to change. So like I told you, without no test, you don't have no testimony. I don't go around bragging, proud of who I once was. I am who I am. I hate the person I was back then, but I love the person I am today. One love.
No bail. I'm facing 2 murders, kidnapping, weapon charges. Guess what happened? Now I'm a menace because
Brian had associated himself with probably the most ruthless and notorious cocaine crack enterprise in the city, that being Howard Pappy Mason and Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols.
NYPD rookie police officer was murdered, executioner style. And as I'm listening to that, I'm like, whoa.
You actually dealt with Brian Glaze, huh?
I dealt with him years ago, back in the 80s, early 90s. I was with he was arrested by my partner back in those days for several murders himself.
Not bad. I was given to me by a police officer in New York called Matt Byrne, whose son was gunned down by these drug dealers up there in New York City.
Glaze was probably within the top 10 people in the city, but I'm going to say that he was probably one of the top 2 or 3 in Brooklyn. Drug dealers, and controlled the drug organization.
And you know what I did? When I got the phone, I told my man, the next time we see him, he's out of here.
Yeah.
Less than 12 hours, that nigga was dead.
Yeah,
Is this the second person you murdered?
No. Because, like right now, if you're going by the timeline, by that time, there's a few more before him.
I heard so many good things about you. What I really like is, I know you're a tough guy. And I've known that for quite a while. And you changed your life, and you're coming around, and you're right. We're from New York. We're New Yorkers. No matter what color you are, no matter what religion you are, no matter what you are. We're New Yorkers.
Well, he was a drug kingpin himself. He was a drug lord himself back in those days, and he operated out of Brooklyn and East New York, and he committed a lot of violent acts himself. So, if anybody knows the streets, he knows the streets.
Tottenham. Yeah, you gotta worry about them guys. But we only have to worry about those guys in Vanderveer and stuff. We all knew Glaze and Tutton, all those guys. Yeah. I know Glaze, Supreme Team. What up, Glaze? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, inside the mind of the killer, the Brian Glaze Gibbs story. Okay, I'll check that out.